Aloha! Welcome to another web design tutorial video. On this board, I've drawn up what you can kind of view as a standard version of a web page, where you have a header at the top, navigation bar on the side, some main content in the middle, a sidebar, a footer, so kind of your basic default web page layout. But when you look at the source code for a page like this, you'll see the HTML elements are organized in a linear fashion. So without style, we'll have inside the body, the header will show up, and then underneath that we'll have the nav element, and then maybe a section element with an ID of content, a section element with an ID of sidebar, and a footer. Okay, so we're trying to get from that linear format to something that looks like this. So how exactly do we do that? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is create a web page that has these 5 elements listed. And I'd actually add a 6th. Within your body element, I'd create one more section and call it container. And we'll get into why we want to do that. But we're going to put everything in our body in a section called container. And then in that container, we're going to first put the header. Then we're going to put the section with ID of content, that main section in the middle. Then a section with ID of sidebar. And then the footer. So we'll put all of that in a container in the section with an ID of container. And then we're going to have the body, or not the body, but then the footer or inside the container. And once we have all of these in place, so that's the first step. And once we have all of these in place, the second step is to turn borders on for all of them so that you can actually see where your elements are. Okay. The third step is pretty kind of a browser hack depending on the version of the browser you're testing with, which involves using the display : block property in CSS. This allows browsers that don't recognize these elements I've listed, which are from HTML5, to display these elements as block elements, which is what they should be recognized as by modern browsers. So we'll want to list all 5 of these elements within a container section. We'll want to make the borders visible for these sections. We'll want to display these HTML5 organizing sectioning elements as blocks, and then we'll need to start sizing the elements so that we can start getting the layout and the look that we're looking for. So in the next portion of this video, we're going to demonstrate these steps.